Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This time around, I'm going to be doing a review for Listen To Me Marlon. It's a Marlon Brando documentary, and it only stars Marlon Brando through archive footage. Um, yeah, I think IMDb kind of fucked up on the casting for the cast on this, and Wikipedia for that matter as well. Because there's footage of other movies that Marlon Brando's been in. Um, for example, Godfather and Apocalypse Now, to name a few. And for some reason they only credit Marlon Brando in this. So yeah, whatever. 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch this movie and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Where's my water? Sorry about that. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So yeah, for those who have yet to actually watch Listen To Me Marlon and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me. Then I gave you a fair warning, as usual I did. So yeah, Listen To Me Marlon. It's a documentary on Marlon Brando. One of the greatest actors to have ever lived. One of the greatest considered actors to have ever lived. So yeah, basically it's his rise and not really fall, but it's like his rise to fame. What happened to him, his decline from fame several times apparently, and how he managed to get up with critically acclaimed movies such as The Godfather, the first one, such as Godfather, Apocalypse Now, just to name a few. They also talk about some of the other movies he's been, whether he had a major role or minor roles such as Superman, the first movie. Yeah, for those who don't know, he's Superman's dad, Kryptonian dad in the Superman film, from 1970 or whatever, with Christopher Reeves, I believe, or George Reeves, something like that. So yeah, um, it's weird. It's how do I put this? Everywhere I'm reading, it's getting stellar reviews. It's calling it one of the best documentaries of this year. I've seen a couple documentaries this year, so I don't know. Um, Many people seem to enjoy it. Me, I just don't really give a shit, to be honest. I just didn't give a shit about the movie, to be honest. Marlon Brando, interesting guy. Really interesting. Um, Yeah, because there was a case with his daughter, where his daughter was murdered or something like that. Like in the 80s and 90s. So that was happening. I mean, he's an interesting guy for sure, but this documentary was just bland and boring in my opinion. It was more informative and less entertainment. It was more informative, which a documentary has to have a even balance of entertainment and information. And this just seemed way too informative and not that entertaining. Um, so yeah, I mean, you have voiceovers by Brando, the late and great Brando, and that's pretty cool. But and I know they're voiceovers, so my first question, first off, is are those actual voiceovers that he somehow recorded, or is some other actor portraying Brando? That's my first question. I assume it's the second option. Um, yeah, I mean, there's just voiceovers, and they're good. They give us an insight to how Martin Brando thought, but they're kind of boring. And Marlon Brando, great actor, but but like around his Godfather, like in his Godfather era, and like in his later years, his voice was really fucking boring. I'm sorry, but his voice and his like when he got as he got older, I felt like his voice like in movies or whatever was just really boring. I mean, he gave a good performance, but his voice could put me to fucking sleep. Even the Godfather movies, fantastic movies, great movies. Um, but his character Corleone, if I just listened to his voice, if I was just listening to his voice, I'd probably fall asleep. Um, So yeah, I mean, interesting guy, really fucking boring voice towards the end of his later life, which is sad. Um, they really don't explain his death, to be honest. They kind of just mention it, like, oh yeah, by the way, he died of health issues, but they didn't really explain it. It was like whatever, and yeah, I mean, overall, it was an okay documentary. I really don't see what all the fuss is about. I guess since it's Brando, probably. I'm hearing people already saying that this could be considered for best documentary movie. Sure, I guess if people like it that much. I mean, documentary movies I'd nominate for this year. Amy was a great one. Kurt Cobain Montage of Heck, and Janice Little Girl Blue. I know they're all based on Amy Winehouse. Yeah, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, and Janis Joplin, respectively, all 27 Club members. But yeah, then again, I haven't really seen that many documentaries this year. Maybe Superman Lives. That one too. That one will be interesting. The death of Superman, the, something like that. It's the death of Superman Lives. So yeah. So maybe that one could be nominated for best documentary. This one I wouldn't personally nominate it, but I see as to why the Academy and the people who run the Academy, I could see why they would nominate it. It's it's kind of Oscar bait. In a sense, it is Oscar bait for best documentary. In a sense, just because of the subject, who it is, and whatever. Um, it's it's okay. It's informative. It gives you an insight to Marlon Brando, which is really rare. Um, Apparently, it's really rare to get anything out of Marlon Brando. Um, so yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. It's not. It's a pretty boring movie. It's an alright movie, but for me, I just kind of found it boring. So yeah, it's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on the movie. Have seen it, and if not, why not? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it? Comment all that down below. Let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.